this trick is the snap change. And this trick is fairly simple, but it can only be done, you can't really do it in slow motion or else it won't work as well unless you really master it. Then you can do it in slow motion, but you can't learn how to do it doing it slow. All it really is you have two cards, looked as if they're one, and all you do is you flick it, and this card goes behind it, like this. But the way you hold this card is what's going to block it off from being seen. So when you have it at a certain angle, and you flick it, and it just changes. But the whole performance for the way I did it was, it can be done with a regular pack of cards. I shuffled the deck, real shuffles, no false cuts because it really doesn't matter. And all you have to do is do this one small move where you lift the top card up just a little bit, and take the card underneath and just peel it down just a hair. That way, your hand's really blocking off the card from being seen, but what it's really doing is when you riffle through, it gives you a split second longer for people to see that card. So if you go through, you riffle through, like that even stuck for a split second longer for all the cards. But if you're like, alright, I'll do it a little bit slower, and you go through, that card sticks. That's the noticeable card. So then you do all these, your false cuts, the ones I've been teaching you, where you cut, take packets off at a time, whatever you want to do, and making sure that the four of spades stays on top, the top card stays on top. So, it's still on top. So then you do what we call a double lift, where you basically take two cards off the top, but you make it look like one. So, I'll get into detail about how I do it my way, because my way is the cleanest looking way, but this is for more beginners. I'll get more detailed on this way later. I actually took 3 cards there. There's that, there's one. So if you are ever watching a magician, you see him do something like that, then you got to assume he's got another card underneath it. That's something to look out for. So a double lift is, the best way to do it is that they teach when you're first learning is to have 2 cards with your pinky under the top 2 and flip it over as one card, show it, and then flip it over again. And the easiest way to set up for that is to either be talking, move your hands, and while you're doing that, you're pushing off the top 2 cards, and then when you bring it back, you have your pinky underneath, or riffle the deck and make sure to stop under the top 2 cards, because then you can do your double lift that way. Or even talking about what you have accomplished so far in the trick. Yeah, so we riffled through the deck and you just remember one card, and just like that, or you have the 2 stuff. So it's all in preference. It's really what you have to feel to your audience. If they're like moving a lot and talking a lot, you should probably do the moving one, talking one too. If they're more like into the story and like looking into your eyes, it's all about misdirection. You just want to get that snap off really quick. If it's really quiet and they could hear something like that, and they'd be like questioning what's going on, or they'd be wondering why you're doing that, you should probably stick with the riffle one and still be telling your story, because people riffle the cards all the time. So you got your break on the top 2 cards and go through, show the card. So like, this is not your card, this is a wild card, let's say. And the way you have to hold it is 3 fingers on top in this pip of the corner closest to you, and then your thumb right like along your middle finger, because what you're going to do is these 2 fingers are going to perform this motion, boom, and then it's going to be your thumb and your index finger that pinch shut. So they call it the snap change because you're almost making a snapping motion. So you take it, and the whole flicking thing is what really sells it. and you have to have the card at a 30-degree angle to their eyes. You want this card looking them dead in the eye. Like, that's why it's aimed right at the lens right now. So when you flick it, these two fingers are pulling it back, and these fingers are trying to come together. So you flick it, and you just have to naturally just hold the card like this. Just practice by holding the card like this, because then you'll feel what it feels like. And then you can stick your other card right in there to feel how it's going to end like when you're first practicing. So you got it? It's going to be very peel, peel, peel. Your thumb is going to your index finger. You snap it off. Make sure these two fingers pinch this card. So you got your double lift. Grab it perfectly. This is not your card. I always keep these two fingers here to make sure, prevent any sliding, because if these are here, then it will keep it perfectly aligned. So this is not your card, this is a wild card. That's how you do it. Just practice it. And then when you put it back on the deck, just cover their eyes for a minute, so when you peel it in, you could even do another double lift, show the 4 of spades. It's like, this is not your card, blah blah blah. Flick it, get it on top, already got your double lift. King of diamonds is your wild card. If you're really sneaky, you can get the top card on the bottom and even hand this card out for inspection.